Hello beautiful people, welcome back to another video of Zara 33. This is the fourth video in a row, so I'm dried out and drinking my pink lemonade, which fits so well with the whole color scheme in here. I don't know. Today I want to talk about the anime Science Fell in Love, So I Tried to Prove It, or otherwise known as RiKeKoi in short. I don't remember the Japanese name, I'm sorry. So what happens is our main protagonists are Himuro and Yukimura. So one day Himuro, who works together with Yukimura in that university lab, confesses her feelings of love to him. So now, after a small moment of hesitation, he was like, wait, but how do you really know that you're in love? What do you have to prove it? You know, what does the concept of love actually mean, you know? And as science students as they are, they of course had to try and find ways how to measure love and how to prove that love actually is there. And so they start a series of weird experiments like if you hug, will your heart rate increase? If you do that, you know, trap the girl on the wall kind of thing, will her heartbeat increase? If you have the perfect romantic set or whatever, will this and that happen? Like a lot of those experiments, and of course there are other characters as well in there who make the whole thing a little bit more funny. Like this anime, although it's a romance comedy anime, I feel like it's very, very funny. It has of course romance moments, but yeah, like a lot of it is comedic, honestly. It even had that scene where Himuro and Yukimura actually knew each other from the childhood. Both of them weren't aware of that, but everyone else would normally be. And what I found really funny, because I was so annoyed, I was like, should I really continue watching that anime or not? Although I waited for so long for it to finish airing and I could finally watch it, I was like, should I stop it or not? But the very next second, that the other girl that is in that lab, Kanade, was like, what, you really don't understand that you actually met the children version of Yukimura and you're still in love with him, and you met him again and fell in love with him all over again? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. That's exactly like my reaction, honestly. So I continued watching it. So those two, still trying to explain the concept of love, just go through a series of experiments and they also help out others with their kind of experiments that they have to do for, of course, student assignments and I don't know what. And the guy Inukai, if I'm remembering his name correctly, he is like a male otome for otome games, but those reverse kind of otome games. And he loved that girl from a specific game that actually looks exactly like Ibarara, who's actually his childhood friend. Alright, she looks so similar to that, but he definitely is more scared. He used to love her a lot, but seems to be now more scared of her than he loves her. So it just creates a funny kind of, like, it creates a funny relationship between those two. I also love Ibarada-san. Like the very first moment I saw her on that anime, I felt like, wow, that girl is so me, because she was playing there with her tablet, with her laptop, and was it her phone? Oh no, she didn't have a laptop, but a Nintendo or something like that. I don't know, but I thought like, well, that's exactly me there on the ground playing with 3 devices on one single game most of the time when I have multiple accounts and trying to win an event. And she also didn't really sleep to play games or whatever like that. That must be me, you know. And she also has pink hair. Of course I would like the pink haired girl the most. But yes, so back to our actual main protagonists, Himuro and Yukimura. Well, both are very inexperienced and clueless when it comes to love. So they begin to conduct their experiments on one another, and of course the other people in the lab too, they had to help because they had to measure like would the heartbeat of only those two change that are in love, or would the heartbeat of everyone change if they did the very same things like holding hands or staring into each other's eyes or whatever. So they conducted all those experiments to find out to get as many numbers as possible and to be able to prove if Himuro actually is in love with Yukimura. They also tried to create the perfect romantic situation to get the ultimate kind of the ultimate experience, romantic experience out of certain situations. Fun fact, they promised, it's the first anime where a kiss was 100% promised, and I was waiting for it to happen, and it did happen. And I would have been so angry and disappointed if another anime that has to do with grown-up people that are already students wouldn't even kiss each other, like, because you know, you have so many episodes where those two, although they try to find out if they are in love or not, it's pretty obvious that they are, but nothing romantic is actually happening in most of those episodes, so it can get pretty annoying at some point. And if we didn't even have the kiss, it would have been even more annoying. So yeah, I just had to say that. Another thing that is really cute is that we can see them frequently getting flustered by the very own experience or by the very own experiments, or from the results of their experiments, which is so funny to me, like, I don't know. And also Himuro, she has like that little pigtail up here, which would move like a dog's tail when she's happy, which is funny and weird at the same time, but funny mostly. And yeah, so you're gonna see a lot of crazy experiments with all those lab partners, and of course their teacher that also plays a not too important role in all this thing. Oh yeah, I think what I should mention, they also had some kind of mascot in that anime, which is like, they tried to copy Rilakkuma, and it was called RiKeKoi, not Rilakkuma, that little bear, you might know that. No, it's RiKeKoi. And where it was brought in was mostly when they wanted to explain some kind of scientific theory. But to be honest, half the time it would just confuse me a bit more. Like, I would, for example, I either would already know that scientific theory, or I had already understood it before when they explained it really briefly. But when that beer started talking or explaining, I felt like it just was more confusing most of the time. Not always, but yeah. And it felt just like filler content half the time, so I wasn't too happy about it, although it was kind of cute. You can also see it as a stuffed animal when Kanade actually hugs it at some scenes. But yes, that's all I had to say about it. My general thoughts about that anime is pretty mediocre, to be honest. Like, it at least had a kiss, which is good. It had some romantic moments, but for my taste, not enough for a romance anime. It was mostly comedic. The first episode was a bit like, and the art and everything was nice though. The characters looked actually good. And I actually think it's a shame that we didn't get to know even more from the other characters, because they seemed quite interesting themselves. But I feel like how the anime ended, it might suggest that there will be a second season. I really hope that will be the case. Because I think the second season must be much better than the first, because they should finally start their relationship, because I actually want to see those two in a relationship rather than trying to even determine if they are in love to try to get into the relationship. I feel like 12 episodes are a bit too long for people to understand that, for people to try and understand if they even are in love, you know. So I think we missed out on a lot of romantic things that could have happened but were kind of always destroyed or whatever. So that's what actually made me think it's a mediocre anime. I might have liked it even more if it wasn't like that. I preferred it if they made it a little bit shorter, like the amount they needed to even understand if they are in love to be shorter, and maybe try to hint some or make it a little bit more romantic. Other than that, the anime was actually fine, and I really hope for a second season that it will be much better. So I hope to see you again. Bye bye.